be critical times. All right, sit down, man, pat your foot, get your blood pressure up. I'm delighted to come back to Rashid's Cultural Institution. I often come here on Thursday, but I took a little vacation for a while. I want to say something about health. The average American never knows nothing about his health until death faces him in the eyes. You are the most ignorant peoples on this planet Earth, especially woolly-head folks, compared to health. If you were anywhere else, even in a Skid Row seminary, it would be a packed house. One thing about Europeans, they might be wild and savages-fied. It's a good hospitality, true word. They do turn out for health. Because he who is healthy can control those who are not healthy. You can be an intellectual black man, an intellectual white man. You can be a middle-class man and woman. But if you haven't got your health, you're all fucked up. Remember that. And it's the truth. I'm sorry to say that, but I have to put a little nasty to it for you to understand what I'm talking about. I've been teaching herbology all over this country for nearly 46 years. I never have a heavy turnout in very few neighborhoods. You know why? Because many of you are helped under a yoke of hypnotizing. And you believe that the doctors is right, which the doctors are on drugs themselves. The art of healing comes from the bushes. The highest honor that any person could have in all of the 33 religions, you roll my wife and I roll yours with the lights out, begins with the art of healing of herbs. You don't have to tell me what Columbus Presbyterians say, because they know nothing. We spend billions of dollars to go to the moon, and they can't even conquer cold. But you go right beside this building and get mullet out there on the parking lot and solve that cold overnight. I look at these intellectual parasites, men of knowledge. They're jackasses in the field of no understanding. I call the Los Angeles Department City Council jackasses that I got locked up, but I didn't take it back. Because people don't know what knowledge is. Let me tell you what has been happening to the human race all over the world. No white folks will be able to escape. You can go to the moon and you still ain't gonna escape. Because the forces is gonna get you if you ain't ready in your spiritual forces. I know what is happening. I'm gonna bring you a little something back. How many of you can tell me what was the start of the Vietnam War? Oh, yeah, you ought to remember that war. You're trying to start one in Central America right tonight. You have learned, I guess that little killing didn't do you too damn good, as old folks say. Maybe you need a double potion. The war in Vietnam was started over religious, between Buddhism and the Roman Catholic Church. The first architect, the mastermind crook, who promoted the government in was Cardinal Spellman of the Roman Catholic Church of the city of New York. You don't do dirt for dirt. This is a great country. It's so great, but she has to die. She has signed her death warrant by going to Central America. You listen to me, Reagan will be elected. I'm not running due to my heavy schedule. I wouldn't want to be the president, no way, because the prophecy will be filled. This is the 20th year where no person that sits in the White House will make it out. I don't care if it's black, purple, psychedelic, you and other color. The Indians have possessed. You don't think I want to know? You send me a donation, and I'll send you a little folder and tell you what each president, what time he died, and where the moon and what sign he was. You can't go against the prophecy. Every president that have been in there died mysterious. Even Kennedy got wiped out in the same thing. And if anybody get in there, Reagan gonna get it. He either died from a heart attack or died from a foreign bill. Now this country is a cancer country, a greasy spoon institution. People love to eat, they love to have a party. He who loves to eat and don't know what to eat will suffer one of the highest diseases, high blood pressure. You go to Atlanta, Georgia, to New York City, everybody talks about party. Smoking some pot, sniffing some cocaine, and they have high blood pressure at 20 degrees. It goes from 1 to 20 degrees. Most of the death in the South is from high blood pressure, eating the old pig, bacon and eggs in the morning, double portion of bacon. You hear these intellectual dog folks with their Salvation Army suit on and doozy buggy car. Give me another bacon and eggs. Double portion of white potatoes. 6 weeks later, what happened to Ed? Oh, honey, he died under the wheel. He had a stroke. 30 years old. He ain't got into the cabbage patch yet. He had a stroke and he died before the doctor could come, and his body was so bad they had to bury him right quick, get him in the ground. This is what we're talking about. Y'all was up there, the sister was up here talking about what? Hysterectomy? No dark woman should have that. Because once you have it, your reproducing the birth to become a mother is over with. 100 years ago, black folks didn't have that. They didn't have a baby. They drunk certain teas, had sex on certain moons. They put nutmeg and cinnamon in the sheets and got them. You hear me? For every problem, there's a bush. For every disease, there's a cure. Don't you tell me I don't know what I'm talking about. One time, I ain't got none now. But one time I had over 200 boxes of some of the rarest tea in the world, which is served in the White House, and I got a letter from Reagan with his signature on because Miss Reagan had the cancer. She's an alcoholic. Tell me I don't know. It's one of the official teas, but you don't know about it. Now some other city slicker has began to import it in the country. He offers 1 pound for $60. 2 pounds for $150. I was giving you 3 pounds for $50. People said I was robbing them. Now I quit bringing it and putting it in the warehouse. Everybody want to get a box. I was only charging you $20 because you cannot be a horrible doctor and get rich. You got to do things for the community. I'd rather have my power to heal you than to have any $50,000 anytime. Because I got stuff that money can't buy. See, I can go right out this door tonight and never go to Harlem and set up an empire anywhere. Because I keep it up here. Sister come to me yesterday and she said, my home is at stake, Dr. Moe. The crooks is crawling in. I said, well, you go home and play 851. And it comes exactly like I see. She told me I'll be by a month to give you a little donation so you can get a few dashikis. I'm going to spend it for cancer birds. See, that's why lots of people's in the spiritual forces, they stuff don't work because they become materialism. You got to sow a seed, plant a seed. I have students all over the world that's become successful who never went to Columbus University, are business people. I never went to Columbus, only the lecture. I never finished no more than the 4th grade. But you name the country, and I can tell you about the herbs. I have people come to me and say, don't talk too fast. Because they have tape recorders in their pocket. Let me tell you something. You don't know how to clean yourself out. You're dumb, bro. You ride the subway. You see some horrible, sick people talking to themselves. Some of them ain't combed their hair since Hoover went out of office. Some women haven't had a douche since Jesus come through in Jerusalem on the jackass. They use all the things and don't bad. Your grandma took care of herself. She was able to have, some of them are living today and not wearing no glasses and can thread a needle at 90 years old. I look at people and they talk about, I'm in a state of stress. Shit. You don't see no elephants in a state of stress. Have you ever seen a cockroach in a Bellevue? No. You won't see no rat looking for unemployment. He'll get on the ship and go to another country when this one gets bad. You'll never find a honeybee looking around protesting. You go out and mess with a honeybee, he'll run you away. I'm going to tell you something before I tell you the great herb for stress. Not only that, it cures Parkinson's disease. Listen, doc, listen, for every disease you got, there's a herb. And in all my 46 years, I will never be able to reach that great honor. I know I've come on a long way, but it's still more to learn. I study 2 and 3 hours. Sometimes I'm afraid to go to bed at night because I might miss another book. Miss some herb growing on some wild mountain somewhere. I would spend all the money in this country for one bush to get it in the glass house because we are losing at the rate, while I'm talking to you, we're losing between 50 and 20 plants a day. We're losing now at the rate of 72,000 acres of land somewhere in the world. Can you feed and clothe yourself tonight? If the bank don't open up in the morning, can you take care of yourself? Can you leave this country? Have you got your passport? Do you know how to obtain another passport to leave this country outside American passport? That's the knowledge you want to know. This bullshit is nothing. I'm sick of hearing dark people. We shall overcome. When the hell you gonna overcome? Reverend King, Dr. Luther King was a Capricorn, tricked us. He told Kennedy that the dark people's gonna revolt. They're gonna revolt more now. We're gonna lose 80% of the dark population. You should know that the handwriting on the wall. Look in the paper, tops of 150 million people starving to death. Can't you see the writing? He who don't prepare shall not see nothing. My father told me one time, all right, you don't like what put on this table, God damn it, hit the door, get you a goddamn table, John. I didn't say nothing but sit down. I said, yes, sir, you're right. We had oatmeal for 3 days. I don't eat oatmeal no more. He said, get you a goddamn table, he said. I'm doing the best I can. I tell children today, I tell women today, don't be fussing with the man. Be glad that you got a man. Because some of them ain't coming no more. Men should be glad they got a sister. I don't care if they're ugly. They still beautiful. You don't miss the bucket until the well go round. You go down here, you see all kind of women and men homeless in the streets. Yet this is the richest country in the world, and we got homeless people. You can stand on the television and hear white people talk about they're losing their home. And you got a house, a place to lay your behind, and still you rebellion. It means you ain't gonna have it too long. God ain't gonna protect this country. Well, since it's worth saving, you find me 10 people and I'll spare this country. They'll come out and tell you, well, give me a donation and I'll send it. Poor Indians have got drunk. You imagine the Native American Indian have got tricked by advertising a Park Avenue. He goes out and gets drunk. I was looking the other day, the Indians going to accept modern medicine. No way in the world I would accept these barbarians and Frankenstein and Dr. Jenkins. These folks kill you automatically. They go out and tell the woman that if we take the oils out, you'll be all right. They tell a man that they got to operate on the prostrate ship. Once you cut out his prostrate, his mooching and kissing days is over. I don't have to go to no damn medical school to know what the prostrate is. Well, you know how you solve your prostrate? Eat some sunflower seeds, or get you some pumpkin seeds. You grow pumpkins in the bathtub. Hang them on the shower curtain. Then you go out and steal pumpkins at night in New Jersey when the folks are asleep and bring them back home. That's no excuse. I told these people 10 years ago, right there in Harlem, I said, you will have refugees that will come to this country and they will be savages to get in business. They're everywhere like flies. You got so many names of Kentucky Fried Chicken, Kansas Fried Chicken. These people are homeless. They were on ships. Y'all don't know what home is. You don't know what home is on ships. They couldn't get them all the rights. Now they're becoming the middle-class crooks of this country. You're going to have to fight and kill them folks. They don't mind dying. They sell drugs, holler hallelujah, and everything. They even created a fish sandwich that has never been created in the fish industry, because most of the fish they sell you, they used to throw it in the sea. They went out and caught it in the damn net. When you're hungry and you come to the land of milk and honey, see, many of you ain't lost nothing. Many of you ain't never stepped out though. You might sit up in a chair. You haven't stepped in a boxcar where the wind asks you where your underwear at. You haven't been out where cockroaches are playing football with you at the Super Bowl. Then when you go somewhere to get something, keep moving on. We don't want your kind here. Then you study something. Let me tell you a herb. How many of you know what wood Beckman is? You ever seen it? Well, wood Beckman is good for stress. You who ain't got no stress gonna get some stress right after November. You're definitely gonna get it, cause food, just the middle of next June of 1985 of the first, inflation will be 50% in this country. What will be a loaf of bread if inflation is 50%? Right. Some of you don't even know how to make no bread. Why, you can make bread from burdocks root. Dr. Carver created a 56 banquet, including burdock ice cream. Dr. Carver was so heavy that you only find his works in the children's library. That shows you these ignorant savages don't know what knowledge is. You ain't had a very few black leaders that ever come on this scene. Now, Jesse Jackson is heavy. Oh, yeah, some of these old ham-bone-eating preachers is heavy. But don't none of them talk about health. It was only one man that talked about health, and you very seldom hear his name, the late Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Even his son turned against his father. You know he ain't right. I wouldn't turn against my father if he was the devil. See, y'all don't know what family is, because you have lost your principle of living. You try to be somebody else. You can't be black and be white too. I'm so glad that Reagan is going to be elected. Oh, it's heavy. The prophecy is heavy. I know millions will go, but out of this chaos, it'll pull you together. Yeah, you're going to come together with the niggers, and no niggers, those that right. You're going to change your eating habit because all the oranges are dying out. But you got to know what bush can give you vitamin C. Ain't gonna be no grapefruits. Ain't gonna be no Pope, because they have killed all the pigs in Haiti with a disease, and the disease gonna come in and kill out the hogs in this country and the cows in this country. Mars is gonna do something heavy in Plato and Jupiter. Oh, wait. See the signs. We are true folks here. For every time a dark man, let me tell you something. A man told me, he said, "Is there a herd will grow hair on your head?" I said, "Shows you standing before me." He said, "You talking spookism." I said, "Put $10 on the table." I'll give him a little. He said, "I'll never question your ability no more." He said, "Look at here, I got thickening hair. But what is that little green stuff in it?" I said, "Well, when you get a head of hair, I'll tell you." So I said, "Come by, we'll go out in the field one day." The man looked at me, he said, "You're really crazy. You mean to tell me I've been shampooing my hair with cow chip tea?" I said, "But you got a head of hair, ain't you?" He said, "I'm gonna load up the car, step back now." He had a trunk load full. He was bald-headed right in the center. See, our ancestors built the pyramids. They even wrote the prophecy in astrology. Other people have tampered with it and tried to destroy it. But it's here. The dark woman has been a mother of all civilization. She has carried the folklore from time to time in the kitchen. And the Bible talks about herbs. You can't be a Christian and eating pork. You can't be a Jew and handling pork, because the Bible says he who eats the swine shall act and be like the swine. You bring me the Bible and I'll show it to you. And you can't challenge the Bible, because I'll make you eat it in paper. Because honey is mentioned 99 times. Even the Bible talks about the vine shall yield their strength and multiply. He didn't say nothing about no abortion. A man's rod have failed. The women are supposed to go out and pull the bushes off of the vine and make a tea. And brother and pops should be ready in a couple of days. Nothing about when not to get hot. He said nothing, because women can have a baby at 100 years old. You ain't supposed to let nobody be cutting you on and taking everything out of you, putting in a piece of tin and a piece of cardboard. You're flesh, you must be flesh. If you can't live in this heart, you're not going to live in my heart. What right is a burgher woman got to have a secretary woman's heart? You know you're going to be crazy when they enter into it. This is barbarian. This is not. You don't need to take no other heart. You can grate certain herbs and control the heart. Do you see a rabbit wearing glasses? He run around everywhere. A rabbit lives within the city. They have rabbits on Michigan Avenue in the park, and none of the folks can catch them. Live right on the famous drive of Chicago. I went out and counted 200 one evening. Rabbit look at me and walk on away. And he don't get hit by the train or the subway. They know what a rabbit goes with 100 miles of his area, less than 100 miles. He can live off an acre of land and find all the plants. If you have a serious disease, I'm going to tell you a $1 billion secret. It's not in the folklore. You have a serious liver disease and no other herbs will cure it. All you have to do is go out and kill a rabbit and make a tea from his liver and recover and get on down the road. You don't know what's going on. See, they say root doctors is crazy. Yeah, we're crazy. We're crazy with the right knowledge. I don't lose no patient under no condition. I thank God for that knowledge. I thank my ancestors for it. That's the knowledge you want. You don't know money. Money ain't everything. Because I can tell you the number every day, and you get all this money, you be nutty than you were before. You be running up. You be got constipated pissing on your duty. Then your mama will call you up. She don't like you. Your husband will leave you. Then what have you got? Emptiness. big table, Cadillac. You can't wear the jewelry because they'll pull it off your neck. So what you need wealth for? Your health is your wealth. Don't underestimate your health. That's why the Bible says, behold, I give you the trees, the bushes, and the moon and the stars shall be of your medicine and your guidance. He talks about the plant kingdom. Oh, get on away from here. Many of you don't want to need no children. Do you know you can take a little douche and apple cider vinegar and don't get pregnant? That's heaven when you can have sex year after year and pick the time for your children. Get on away from here. Ain't that something you say, come on in, the moon is full, we're ready. That's something. You don't think of this. There's a flower called, I should not tell you this. It's one of the oldest birth control herbs in the world. It's used by the Amazon natives. It grows wild in the forest along the Amazon River. They use it sometimes to take it so they don't have cavities in their teeth. It's a flower called rhododendron. It's a flower that grows in the flower yard. I seen one here a couple of days. I don't tell people what they got. I see little bit in these front people's yard. Sometimes I stop and they say, come on in, Dr. Mo, folks know you. I said, no, I was just looking. Well, come on in, look in now. What has it got in the yard? Sometimes you can't tell people's true knowledge because it'll blow their mind. People are not, you hear people say, oh, I'm ready. I have students come to my class. They've been coming for a year, nearly 2 years. They're now finna graduate. And some of them have now gone on other places. Some of them is in the book of Guinness of Record. Now they're finna get a herbal degree that will allow them to give consulting in 10 states. And I've done it all with $2. Imagine a herbal class for $2. I just recently raised it to $5. You go to most herbal colleges, they want $250 to come inside. When I have something to raise money for these folks, don't nobody never turn out. You know how I get my money most of the time? For my students raising foreign money. I show them how to become entrepreneur. And most of my money comes about the herbs that I give away free, come from the North. I'm not ashamed to say it. There is a way if you make a way. I'm finna hit it heavy this week, sure enough. But anytime people find out about a cancer tea and they raise the price from $20 to $60, that means that the poor people's in the streets ain't gonna get it. But God will make a way. You got to make a way too. I heard a preacher this morning saying, all we need is Jesus. We've been at Jesus for 100 years. We still in slavery. I'm wondering if God would come down here tonight and the preachers would grab him right away. Because Jesus was not teaching a man. Jesus was teaching the art of healing, and he went to the school in Egypt to learn the art of healing. You can't be a healer and eat meat. He who eats dead carcass shall pass dead carcass through his healing. See, you don't know. They say spiritualism, rootism. Listen, you ain't supposed to kill nobody as a spiritual teacher. Because you're supposed to know how to hold them away. Listen, you're supposed to be so heavy that if this town didn't receive you, you're supposed to dust them off and let a hurricane take them away. See, dog people once could dance and make it rain. Oh, that's heavy. Ain't that something? Your man, a dog sister was so heavy, she knows the time the baby was to come. Now, she don't know when she even pregnant. Because she eat Burger King. Commercial food, please, looks like they got rheumatism and arthritis. Gravy will run you to the cemetery. Your grandma cooked her food. One thing about the dark woman, she didn't have all the money that her daughters got now. She didn't allow no other woman in her kitchen. She didn't even allow her mother in the kitchen. Dark woman's supposed to have a baby this morning and cook it this evening. Supposed to know how to love. If your cooking don't do it, squeeze his hand. Ain't that heavy? See, and I cuss him out. You see women's on the subway. You say good morning. Bad. Got all kind of money. Making $25,000 and $40,000 a year. Mine is crazy as a rabbit. Running every morning. It's pitiful. Because we are not together with ourselves. You take you some wood Bettman. You drink you some anise seed. Let me tell you a master vegetable that very few people ever put it on the plate unless they read watercress. Watercress is rich in potassium. And if you use a good amount of watercress, use a good amount of planter's leaves, you'll have potassium and magnesium. That way you don't have heart trouble. I'm going to tell you something, and I know you got it in your kitchen, because all of you put it in a peach cobbler. Some of you don't make no cobbler because you buy it down to the delicatessen test it. How many of you know what nutmeg is? What is the cause of diabetics among dark people and white folks? Not sugar. What happens to one of the parts of the human body that begins with a P? What is it? Have many of you cleaned your pantries out this fall? No. That's why some of you look mad. Some of you look... You see them 19 years old, $35 sneakers on. Son, what's wrong? I don't know. I feel tired. And you see them around the corner sniffing on the marijuana. Next half hour, shut up, sores all over, looking like bullfrogs. Red eyes like bull. Here come the sisters. I'm going to church. Can't get out the doorstep. When your pantries get detoxification from environmental poison, you remember this? You should have every month, the 1st or either the 15th of each month, you should have a cup of nutmeg tea. And if you don't sparkle and step on down the road, I don't care if you ain't got no sense. You'll get it. You don't know what nutmeg do for the pancreas of the human body. Because see, when your pancreas is gone, you gone. When your kidneys is gone, you gone. But there are herbs like horsetail branch, Jupiter berries, parsley can save the body. Even blueberries and parsley will take the sugar out of the human. Listen here, I can eat everything and don't get no high blood pressure. I went out here and checked my blood pressure. The man who I just told him, John Moore. I didn't tell him. He said, "Ma, you got blood pressure of a young man, and you way up in age." I said, just keep reading it, and that's none of your business. I make my own high blood pressure tea. Sell it for $2. Guarantee it work. What would a blood pressure treatment cost you? Used to give it away and they didn't even appreciate it. You named the disease. If I ain't got the bush, I can send get it. I get bushes here that ain't supposed to come to the country because God let them come to. I once had on my station there when I was in the tree, if it grow, I get it. I had to take that off because people thought, but I used to get that for the folks too. Some of you ain't never had marijuana. You should get some that I use for cataracts and eye. 2 sticks and you high for 6 months. Herbs is the issue. You don't have to listen. When you study herbs, you can get high every hour. You can take a cup of rosemary and a cup of catnip and parsley, and you swear I got a pound of reef in here. Smells just like marijuana. You want to know this knowledge. You don't have to buy nothing. I can take you right side of this building and we can pull a couple of little grass and you'll be mellow for the rest of the evening. This is the knowledge that you need. I like to teach it to children. I was reaching at Malcolm College a year ago. They had 6,000 adults in the course. When they said I was coming, 3,000 were in the Herbology class. They had to use the auditorium. It was so heavy that the sister invited me, wanted to take $300, but it was such a astonish on the students. They were there before I come, and they were on time. She's been giving me 3 more. Because I told them, you got to teach people something how to live day by day. None of this pie in the sky. You ain't got no rent money there, so you in the Holy Bible both out. This country is run by people who use any method. That's why you got to study metaphysics. The whole Bible is nothing but metaphysics. The Roman Catholic burn Franklin and Myrrh on the high mass, then they tell you that's voodooism. You see the Pope, he be hollering, nobody knows, oh Pedro, bring your money up here, and they be shaking the Franklin and Myrrh every day. But see, Catholics in all institutions of religion, they forbid the true knowledge of man and woman of himself. You take in Revelation, it talks about the beast standing on the water and 1 foot on the land. Do you know what that is? You go down to Times Square one night. You will see the mark of the beast. He's standing on everything. Because drugs is the beast. Drugs, alcoholics, fast living destroys the nutriment from your body. Most women give up a true life to become a prostitute. They sell their true self to become a whore to the environment of the materialist world. I'm getting ready here. I put my book down. When the spirit hits you, you got to talk. I might hurt some of you. Just go on out there and get cool and come back. This here have destroyed many men and women. This is the devil. But he has lost his devil power. They've been to make new money. It will be in circulation right after the November election. You get $1 for what you got hid under the mattress. In God we trust. God didn't make no money. You don't see no birds use any $10 pieces. You'll never catch the gorilla in jungles of Africa looking for a $5 bill. But money is the root. It has told the chains of the materialist world. Have it over. That's why you have to come down front. Most of you sitting here have been bullshitting for years and years of your lifetime. I don't want to get up because I don't want to knock you down. You've been thinking you're going to walk that journey. You're going to walk it now. Because this is the age of enlightenment. This is the age of going forward. And if your faith ain't heavy and it cannot hold you together, it will fall by the wayside. A brother told me, he said, Islam is heavy. I said, you watch. See what happened to the holy city of Mecca. It will go if it ain't heavy. He said, wait a minute, Doc. I said, sit down and hear what the prophets say. There's only going to be one way that you can survive. Is to open up your psychic power. Yeah, not down here. Because if you're nutty up here, you'll be nutty all the way down. So you'll make nutty children. Say, yeah, they'll be crazy as you. When they come out, they'll be bumbling to themselves. Let me tell you, there ain't going to be no more leaders to come.
All right, go on down.
There are people going around relaying the message to you. But you don't listen. Next year, I'm stepping down. That's heavy, ain't it? I'm leaving you when you really need me. But the forces say, I must go, or else I shall be die in the living. And I don't want that. So y'all don't know what spiritual forces is. I have tried to teach people everywhere. I even told them to come free. I'll give out $1 million worth of literature. I have 11 pages that Dr. Carver left and don't even have the money to print them. I'm scared to leave it at any print shop because it never be printed to the public. This man, before he died, 43, wrote a little pamphlet. Don't ask me how I got it. I got it. Being at the right place at the right time. Dr. Carver selected the plants. He named the geographical location of the plant. Some crook the other day offered me $350,000. I said, you get out of this office. What you do? He said, we'll lock it up for another 100 years. He want to know because he can go to growing corn and stuff to rob somebody and sell them in food. Starvation is to come. Dr. Carver said, man, if he would get out and talk with nature, he would get everything he needs. Why, look at me. I'm a Capricorn. I was an ugly little boy. I look at my picture today. I was the ugliest child in that neighborhood, and I'm a handsome dude now. Look at me. Oh, wait a minute. I got my sex power, too. Shit, don't you think? Ready. Listen, I don't drink no coffee, no coffee. I don't use no drugs, because I'm high right now, a natural high. I work 17 hours a day. I was at the post office at 4 o'clock. I went no further than the 4th grade, and I write 16 articles for newspapers. How I get it done? Some of you got master education running around here looking. Talk about somebody gonna give you something. If I was running this country, I wouldn't give you a goddamn thing. You either shape up or shape out. You're living in the richest country of the world. Instead of being demanding somebody to give you something, pull your resources together and become entrepreneurs of this country. And if you can't become businesslike, then bring the forces to destroy the whole country. Wash your hand of the matter. Women should not get out here and beg for a man. Rub your body down with vervain, and men will chase you off the subway. Don't be worried if you're ugly or beauty. You got it. And you don't have to have sex with men. A woman can have 1,000 men bringing the paycheck home. Ain't that heavy? That's a lot of men. That means you got to have real titties now, not rubber titties. Not Goodyear Firestone tie rubber titties. The same titties that you run your car on. Same kind of rubber. You haven't got no titties, you wanted to get them firm and you got to sell them, get you some wheat germ oil. You know what wheat germ oil? Just take it off the shelf in the supermarket, anywhere. Put in the shop bag and walk on out. And rub your breasts. Then if your husband has got weak hands, go out and get another fella. And let him pull on them titties. No sex though. Just pull on them and watch them ride. Don't deny yourself nothing. Now, if you're ugly and want to be beautiful, have no wrinkles, no lipstick, and be in tune with nature, wash your face every now and then with grape juice. Wash your face with spikenard root. You'll have no pimples. Most of you, when you get a cucumber, instead of storing and peeling away, wash it up under your eyes, rub it up under your eyes. It will take the dark spots. There's a herb that brother got out there on the table called Arnica. A-R-N-I-C-A, Arnica. It takes the stretch marks. See, our ancestors didn't have no Helen Rubinstein. They didn't have no Campbell Soup Company. They had to make everything in the kitchen. I'm thankful that this brother had this fair here. Should be Pharaoh's army. But dark people don't think about health until the undertaker's at the door. Really, death is only those who die early, die because they are not in tune with themselves. While their trees live 500 years. You can live that way. change your eating habits, change your thoughts. Most of you should have a cup of Solomon sealed tea. Open up your chocolates. I know it's the time. I'm finna close. I'm going here at 4 o'clock in the morning. Get yourself together. I got a little tablet back there. Sign your address and I'll send you some literature. If you ain't got no money, I'll send you a blessing. When it comes, send me a blessing. If you don't, you'll lose it all. See, the forces is heavy. You don't know nothing about it. I ain't worried about Regan. Shit, let him go. Regan got to do his job, and I got to do my job. Because politics is crooked any way you see fit. I was on the haystack one time when the politics said, when I get up yonder, I'm going to give you a chicken in every pot. That crook got elected, he even took the pot that I'm supposed to cook the chicken in. You never did come back. You left yourself. You studied all this great health knowledge because in the next less than 14 years, all the pharmaceutical houses, all the hospitals, all the medicine will change, and even the institution of religion will change. You must fit into that change or step down. I close with this mark. Over the Hobo Institution of Technology, I majored in boxcar psychology. I hold a doctrine. It has ilitum solutum. If there is no way, get up off of your ass and make a way so that you may survive. Ain't that it? If there ain't no way, get up off of your ass. Don't be sitting here worrying and feeling sorry for yourself, because when an earthquake comes, he don't ask you what color. He say, are you ready? You have 3 things to try to get together, and it's going to take every force that you can, because the worst disease that we have is not heart trouble. It's not syphilis. 1/3 of the world population will be wiped out by AIDS. You know what AIDS is? 52% in Europe is disease related to sex, and not all homosexuals produce AIDS. AIDS is produced by sexual relationships. 1/3 of the human race in the next 3 years will be wiped off this face of the earth, right? And all you have to do is spend $20, get you 1 box of herbal tea from Brazil called Octoparocta, and you can kiss AIDS goodbye. You don't know. Our ancestors left a legend of herbs for us to survive. Thank you, brothers. Look at yourself. Don't ask me where I'm going, because where I go, you couldn't come. You can't be crossing the desert with arthritis. You can't cross the desert crazy. You got to have your mind. Shape up or shape out. For the hour draw close. You must plant a seed for your children. And many of these people in here will survive, because we're not interested in your body. We're interested in your seed, so that we can sow the seed of the future generation to survive. I thank you. Come to me tonight. Shield my forces against the evil forces, that I may wonder to see many sunrise and many sunsets. Amen. All right, be seated, brothers. What we mean when we talk about sunrise and sunset is each day. On this table tonight is a survival protection ointment. It's an ointment that our ancestors used millions of years ago on the continent of Asia, Africa, and as well as North America. If you were in a tribal society tonight, you would not have an opportunity to be with me, because I would be in the council of the elders. But we are still a tribal people. We have come way in America where our rights have been taken from us. We have been indoctrinated with other methods of rheumatism and arthritis, what we call the false doctrine. Jesus of Nazareth, who went to the school in Egypt during his time that he was lost in his 33 years as members of the Healing Society, he spent 6 or 7 years studying in India and in Egypt. And he went to the mystical schools to study the art of healing. To be a heavy herbal student, which this is your last ointment that you should know about. It's not what you give, because it will double whatever you have give. See, the idea in a world, you have to give automatically to receive. On this table is something that many of you, after tonight, will be able to put it together. But let me tell you, never make this ointment if you're evil. Never make it when you're upset. Write it down, because I ain't coming out on no emergency. You be in a mini trip. You talked about high on LSD. We're talking about our spiritual trip. You'll be floating for years to come, and verse 7, you will think that the demons have got you. You understand? But you can use this ointment here, this survival protection ointment, because we are trying to survive. Ain't that right? We are in a deadly winter state. Look like summer. Every time you try to do something, the forces come ahead of you. But I thought I would wait until after the eclipse. And the eclipse have already come. And it clipped a lot of folks. And it's still clipping them. But this is what I have always used. I have always carried this with me. I've been able to come among people who said that they were super heavy. But my stuff was heavy enough to keep a shield around me. Now, this is blessed thistle. This is the rod of the earth. It's the symbol of the earth because it's a member of the thorn family. And it grows sometimes just as a strip. And in the fall of the year, we will show you how to strip it and bring it. It comes about the size of your thumb, bigger your thumb. But here now we have a basic to start this oil off. We have the sunflower seed, which is a representative to the sun. All right? What planet governs the sunflower? Now look on your little paper there. What planet governs the sunflower? You right, Joe? You think the sun governs sunflower? All right, is you right? Do the sunflowers governed by the sun? That's right. It faces the sun, and when the sun go down, it still faces. So blessed thistle is in the sunflower family. It is one of the heaviest of all. It is so heavy when it dries you cannot touch it. Look at it. The top of it has a blue flower which cures syphilis and cancer. We're going to put the whole mixture into the grease here now. Let it fry. Now this is an ointment. I want you to see. You don't have to worry about buying this because this grows all over the world. This can be used as a green. This here cooked with tame greens and other greens, it has a supreme taste of the tongue. Now we're going to put it in. I want you to see it. We're putting it in here now. And now the next comes the herb called devil's shoestring. Look at the shoestring. It's not too big, but look at it. You break it up now. Put it in here. You got to have the devil's shoestring because this takes the devil forces from you. Next comes the Solomon seal. 2 ounces of Solomon seal. You're going to smell something here soon. You put it in the pot. 2 ounces of Solomon seal. 1 ounce of rue, R-U-E, rue. Now, this is 1 ounce of rue. Put it in the pot. All right. And the last will be lobella in its natural green state, which itself is detoxis and an LSD plant. All right, now, we're going to put them in the pot and let them boil. Now, when they have boiled, then we will strain them through a white sheet, an old sheet, so that it be nothing left. Look at the sheet. See the crumbs of the sheet there? You will strain them. Now this, in some beeswax, they have paraffin. They have chemicals in them. This is a beeswax, has no chemicals. This is pure white beeswax. We're not going to put the whole box in there, but we're going to put enough in there to make it as an ointment so you can rub it in your third eye. Where's your third eye? All right. So you're looking at this. This here little box of beeswax is so pure it would cost you $9. But it's heavy though. It's heavy. You'll smell the pot. This ointment is used for the protect you. Sometimes when you're in a strange neighborhood, you're in a strange environment, you can rub it here or either here. It will put your ears like antennas of television. To travel in the world, let me tell you something. This is a $1 billion secret. To travel in the world, you must be ready to travel. You must know how to use forces to keep them away from you. Ain't that right? Not that you're trying to be a smart, woolly-head person, but you got to have your stuff together. Because if you ain't together, they will come after you. There are scriptures related in the Bible. They're not in poems. They are not in songs. Which would be the heaviest part of the Bible if you had never was a scholar? Not Revelation, not Revelation. Not Isaiah. See, all of you have got a Bible at home, ain't that right? Raise your hand. You got a Bible. How many of you have read the Bible? You misread it. That's what you did. You didn't read it right. You overlooked it. All right. How many of you know what Malachi is in the Bible? You didn't read it? Have you ever heard a preacher talk about Malachi? Well, every 10 years he'll mention the chapter. I want you to go home tonight. This is after a full moon. I wasn't with you during a full moon. Wasn't that right? It was a full moon in Sagittarius, 23 degrees. That's in the fire of the rain. This is why these people are flipping outside. This is why you had a 500-mile-an-hour hurricane. It snowed in Johannesburg, South Africa. I told you it was coming. We're going to have an earthquake here soon. Will be 16 on the Richter scale, but it won't do no damage, but it will set the mechanism for the heavy. Now, this ointment, you smell it? We're going to let it do him. We ain't going to have much. You don't need too much of this. Sometime a little bottle of this is worth millions of dollars. It ain't money, but what it do. See, when your grandma and your grandpa, see, if you were a member of the altar, the secret altar, and you went to a place and you wanted your clients to get out, you have to have your little juju bag ready. And in Malachi, you look in the book of Malachi, look through the chapters. I can't say what it is, but look through the chapters. You women should definitely look through Proverbs. For every problem Yeah, for every problem that you got in this Western world, on this planet Earth, it's related to the Scripture. And if you're a Muslim, you can find it in the Koran. And if you're Hebrew, you can find it in the tablet. Oh, yeah, y'all don't read. You understand? The same, all the religions come under the same prophet. No different. But you got to have faith. Listen, you can't go nowhere in this world unless you give some things away. People ask me sometimes, some of my students be here training under me, they say, Dr. Mo, you are always giving stuff away, and they don't never give you nothing. I said, you don't know what they don't give me, because all the time you are not here. And when you're here, you still don't see. I might not get it in financial, but I might get it in other ways. Let me tell you, today I was sitting here, I was just relaxing. The man asked me, have you got your little box yet from Haiti? I said, it ain't got here yet, but I'm waiting. He said, well, it will be here. See, let me tell you, I know that heart trouble was coming. I know that heart trouble is going to get a lot of trouble, because at times my heart feels heavy. I didn't ask you to come up with no money, because when you ask dog folks for money, they get insulted. They don't want to contribute to nothing worthwhile. So I told the brother to bring the medicine on back here. It was a sister told me last week that she wanted to get in herbal business. See them 2 boxes? I'm waiting on her to come pick them up. You sure can't have them boxes on the subway. No money. Money is not everything. I have less money than anybody in Harlem. Some days I have no more than 50 cents, but the next night I'll allowed to have $40,000. Because you never know where I get my money. Sometimes I don't even know where I get it. It comes strangely myself. What they lay it on the table and walk out. Ain't no need of me choking them down. You understand? They are. But I'm telling you, I have used this ointment for 46 years. And it works. It worked for Dr. Mo. It worked for Hobo Mo. So if it worked for me, you ain't nothing but hobos too. That's all. Y'all just home guard hobos. And I thought I'd pass it on to you, because sometimes you can dress this hand here, and you can carry it to places. I had a sister who recently come here, and she said her customers was going out fast as they were coming in. I went out in the little closet, and I handed her about. She called me a couple of days and said now she have to run them out. We used to dress the tree of life right yonder. It was so dressed up that a brother had a meat house. This is heavy. They quit going in there buying the pork chops and the bacon. He went out of business. He come over and told me, Dr. Mo, I'm going to give up the stove. Since you come here, something wrong. He said, I haven't had no more customers. They even passed by. He said, I tried to sell pork chops for 15 cents a pound. They still walk by. The vibration. Using certain forces in a spiritual vibration. One of the heaviest gods in Cameroon is not a statue. It's a little old god with a grass hula skirt on. Some folks stole it. They say, oh, they give the natives some money and some psychedelic beads and underwear, and he was all made him drunk, and he went and got the god in the little grass hut, and they brought the god. Listen, they had the cat back. Oh, it's heavy. I laughed. Oh, the New York Times had a whole talk about this white fella. He said, if I can just get over there, he chartered a whole jet. He said, I'm going to carry it back. The day that the gods left Cameroon, it didn't rain no more in the country. But the chiefs, the elders,
and the root doctors and the herbal doctors across the country went to the hills. And they put something on this country. Because anybody who had something to do with it, they lost all their business. Most of them got killed accidentally, strangely, everything. Just like when you go into the tombs of Pharaoh, you don't know what to say and what to do. That's your last tomb. You won't be crushing no more seals. Books are heavy. Knowledge is heavy. Look at it. Look at the blessed thistle. Look how it withers. Wanted you to see. Look at the thorns are still with it. The substance, look at it, cooking away. Moses threw this stick before Pharaoh. This was a shepherd, the rod, mentioned. Certain flowers have certain powers. Even the dog has EXP power. The cockroaches, the rats, everybody used their forces but us. We are waiting on pie to come out of the sky. Ain't no pie going to come out of the sky. You're going to leave this earth if you are not right. You know why you die? Because you give up in life. Some of you give up even in the living. One lady said the other day she knows she's going to walk into heaven. I said, well, I don't think you're going to walk because you're a landlord. And they don't allow landlords in heaven. You have to realize this. Heaven is like a mine. But even Jesus used protection. Now, I want to open my book here while this ointment is sizzling. It's going to light this house up. This is taken from the occult book of the law between right and wrong. And this is used in the time of Egypt, just before Egypt was declining. Men of high knowledge and high wisdom took the book and went into exile because they know that the country was coming. Here are some of the heaviest herb families related to the occult of herbs and healing. The Rose, R-O-S-E, the Rose family, that's all of the Rose families, and the highest of those Rose families will be meadowsweet, M-E-A-D-O-W-S-W-E-E-T, meadowsweet. The next will be wild raspberry. And the last, which is supreme in the field of healing, as well as one of the best in the world for cirrhosis of the liver, any kind of liver trouble, is agamonis, A-G-R-I-M-O-N-Y. Now we're going to talk about the flax family, F-L-A-X, F-A-M-I-L-Y, the flax family. These are the two greatest of the flax family. Flaxseed, sesame seed, and cantaloupe seed. The highest in the carrot family, which Jesus used this during the time of his healing process, was an ointment. And one of the carrot family ointments is called wooden, W-O-O-D-S-A-N-I-C-L-E. What is that? How many of you ever had Seneca? You never had a cup of tea of it? It's a member of the carrot family. That's right. A carrot that you eat. Seneca will knock arthritis into the cemetery. Make a note to get you a little Seneca and have it as a cup of tea. The gentry, G-E-N-T-I-A-N, the gentry family. One of the great herbs in the gentry family is century, C-E-N-T-A-U-R-Y, century. But the best in the gentry family is called buckbean, B-U-C-K, B-E-A-N. Buck bean. Look into your herbal book. Look into anything that's related to the buck bean. Then many of you will be free from cancer of the uterus. All right? The dead needle family, dead nettle family, the dead nettle, D-E-A-T-N-E-T-T-L-E family. You want to remember this? Look through your books. Because at times I'm not going to talk more about this. One of the great herbs of that is the black horehound. Black horehound, H-O-R-E-H-O-U-N-D. White horehound. And the supreme plant in the nettle family for all kind of pain, any kind, is called ground, G-R-O-U-N-D, Ivy, I-V-Y. The supreme that suppresses stress, also cools the heart down, wood, W-O-O-D-V-E-T-O-N-Y. The last will be red sage and hyssop, H-Y-S-S-O-P, hyssop. That's in the dead nettle family. D-E-A-D, dead nettle family. Yes, it's like delf. Now we come to the supreme. This is the supreme honey, but very few people will ever get it. This is the buttercup family. I'm going to give you the Latin name of this, because someday you go in there and talk about buttercup, these folks know what to be talking about. Here's the Latin name, R-A-N-U-N-C-U-L-A-C-E-A-E. Let's go again. The Latin name of the buttercup family is R-A-N-U-N-C-U-L-A-C-E-A-E. That's one word, a Latin name. The supreme buttercup family roots were used by spiritual peoples throughout the South and still used as black snake root. Golden seal. Bayberry bark. And witch or hazel. Witch, W-I-T-C-H. Witch or hazel. We are now approaching the 21st century, ain't that right? We're supposed to have been in it, but now we are approaching it. These are the heavy herbs related when the herbs have shifted in the field of occult and spiritual protection. I will go slow. We will start in the sunflower family. The first one, gravel root, G-R-A-V-E-L, gravel root. Yar, Y-A-R-R-O-W, mudwort, M-U-G-W-O-R-T, mudwort, M-U-G-W-O-R-T. Prickle ash bark, prickle, P-R-I-C-K-L-Y, ash, A-S-H, bark. Make a note under that to study, make a note on your papers right now that you must study much about the prickle ash bark. Jesus used the prickle ash bark The Hindus use it in many other parts of the earth. You're going to like this one. Wooden saw. W-O-O-D-S-O-R-R-E-L. Wooden saw. I should tell you this, but I don't know if you ever will get it. Canadian snake root. That's Canadian, C-A-N-A-G-A, snake root. All right. All of you eat peas, don't you? Write down June peas. June peas. June peas. June peas. Yes, the same as it all. It's a June pea. The last plant that will be our supreme plant that will eliminate obesity completely, that will go along with the time of the changing of the time, which is under the dock family, D-O-C-K, dock family, D-O-C-K-F-A-M, that's the dock, will be mistletoe, chickweed, foxglove, fox, F-O-X-G-L-O-V-E, foxglove, lungwort, L-U-N-G-W-O-R-T, and bladder rock, B-L-A-D-D-E-R-W-O-R-T. Last will be one that I never talked about, and I hope you can find it and study it and keep your mouth shut about it. Liverwort, L-I-V-E-R-W-O-R-T, liverwort. The supreme plant during the time of 85 up until 1987 for women will be saffron. S-A-F-F-R-O-N. What is it? All right, that will be the women's herb. For the men during that time, the herb that they will use will be Oregon grapefruit. Oregon grapefruit. You who wish to dangle in other things and afraid to make a decision to move related to the changes of the element, then this is your herb. The blossom of the honeysuckle, basswood leaves, bass, B-A-S-S, bass, like a bass fish, basswood, and mistletoe. All right? Now these herbs that you can be used for spiritual protection and drinking as a tea. Dr. Carver said, he speaks to that great man, that when times get bad, all dark people should return to the bushes. And as you return to the bushes, you should drink a tea of the rabbit grass. His other great tea was a great spiritual tea too. And it was the seed from the persimmon seed. How many of you ever seen the persimmon seed? All seeds, Dr. Carver said, holds the nourishment, holds the immune for their survival. See how the blessed bristle wibbles? It holds its color. All of them are simmering. I'm going to cut the heat down now and simmer. Then we're going to strain them. Then we're going to put the wax. And I want you to come and see yourself. Come and see the pot. See it. Look at it. Come up and walk around and look at it and keep circling. Come and look at it. You have never seen nothing like this. The plant is so powerful, they don't even wither under heat. Ain't that something? You were all here looking at me put it in, wasn't you? Has the plant withered away from there? Look at it. It ain't even withered itself. You were here when I put the green plant in there, didn't I? Ain't that something? You smell the aroma there? I put the plant in there and it have not withered down. That's something. Now, if you were right, you could put your whole hand in the pot and never get no burn. No pain. Don't laugh. Well, that's a high level that you see don't you smell the aroma of it? Look at it. When you hear when I put it in, it has not cooked away. Look at it. I want you this fall of the year to take you a sharp knife and stitch the needles and get you a rod and put it in your house. Don't you smell it now? Only what's left out of that pot is the devil's dawn, which is gums of acidity. Listen, if this breaks windows, what would it do to the human mind? Our wife can put this into the bedroom and it can change the currencies of the man related to his wife. The man can fix it in the house and he can find out if his wife is truly. It's an ointment. You slap glue, you slap jelly everywhere. See, to deal in protection, sometimes you don't carry things in the powder. You carry it in an ointment so nobody can never see it. Who would ever think going into a bank and rob the bank and ain't got no gun and get away with it? Don't laugh. Well, your wife have not been, you say you're a woman. You haven't been faithful to the husband. So he goes to see the medicine man of the tribe. You haven't been run out with another boy down the road there and got under the bushes. That's natural too. But really you were not faithful to him. So he has the force and the spirit to find out why you are not faithful. See, dark people in the early times, they didn't go to no psychiatrist or crazy doctor. They consulted the root doctor, the spiritual. He would throw bones and shake them in the valley. And they could tell. They know about stars. They don't have to go to Columbus University. The science is here. I use science every day dealing with people because these people have problems here that's beyond the book. You need some kind of science. You know, what they have is a deeper sickness within. That's heavy. When you got a deep sickness within, can't no modern medicine do you any good. You got to come back to this. What is that? To the bushes. This is called hot bush medicine. See, because you got these ointments and you got them ready for today, not for tomorrow. See, you can't wait for the sun to rise. You got to be ready when the sun rises. See, in Egypt, they had the third eye. They called it Isis. They had all kinds. They prophesied things. People here, they don't care nothing about nothing. All they are interested in money. Yes.
Furthermore, the Mason brothers, they have an apron, a white apron with the eyes. That's eye of Isis.
That's right. That is the sign of the billy goat sitting in the temple. But all the fraternity orders are not heavy enough in the Western world. This is why the Western world is declining. Because what kills the Western world is the sound of money. Money, greed, jealousy will destroy you. It would be better to take true knowledge and have no wealth in the world than to go. I told all of you to carry $50. Have you ever carried it? How many of you got 50? You never carried. Poor as I am. See, once you carry 50 after a full moon, I always carry $50 bill. I don't spend it on the nose. If you dying, you just die. That is the, look at the third. Do you know the science of money? There's a 5 and old up there. What 500? What do the fifth house of dimension represent? All right here, look out here. You pause and the earthquake ain't gonna wait. What does 5 represent in the 12 houses of the zodiac? What? What does Virgo represents in the zodiac?
The one with the wheat cap.
Well, what do the wheat represent? A house of production. What's wrong with you folks? Y'all study every day here. What tea you drinking? Lipton tea? What are you drinking? This is where you look at this bill tonight. It says $50, don't it? How would you use this bill for your blessings tomorrow? All right. Production is what? A 5. All right, we have just had the eclipse in a full moon. All full moon eclipse bears 0. All right. Every week it's been a 0, ain't it? All right. Turn the 5 upside down. You got 004. 50, yes.
Lecturing at the corner of 5th Avenue, and I want you to put it 2 5s on the corner.
Go ahead on there. See the 4? What did you say? Repeat it.
This man has been taken a lecture by Dr. Moore. We studied on 5th Avenue, and I want you to put it in the corner. 2 5s.
2 5s. All right, then you put an alt in front of the 5. 0 5 5. Then you use your last judgment and turn it around. Figure that if you got one more thing to get a financial blessing, then you turn them around and look out. Because everyone in here's mind is geared to the 5. This is mentally power within the forces. So see how the wind unceased already? 5 is heavy. See, I don't think y'all be listening to me. It takes heavy blessings to get heavy blessings. If you don't want nothing in life, you ain't gonna get a goddamn thing. Some of you don't really want nothing, I don't think. Here's a lady told me she gets sick. How can you get sick coming to a herbal class? She ain't drinking the tea. Listen, for every disease, there is a cure. Now we'll take it off the heat here. Because the heat,
Dr. Moore, say you were going to sign a contract, right? And you want to get some big money. You were going to talk to the president.
you carry your protection ointment.
You put that on?
You bring these folks towards you. This ointment is not only used for protection, but to put stuff in your way. You got to know what to do with the roots. Now, if you're going to get money, you carry your few pennies. New pennies, ain't it? If it can protect you, it can also bring things for you. If your husband, well, let me hurry now. You might want to get rid of him. Don't kill him, because sometimes if you're setting it up to kill the husband, you go. But it's good to stay with what you got, because you don't miss the bucket until the well goes dry. Amen. See, and in different countries, people usually put their little taboo in little baskets. This is a little hand basket from Peru. Why is it so important? Because it has a different vibration than American basket. Greater things, my brothers and sisters, don't come in big boxes. They come in little bitty boxes. You can carry this. You can't carry a Cadillac. It run out of gas, you done for. You can always carry your fortune in a basket. The fortune. Now, I want you to see here, I use the most simplest things, because great things, I could go down there and buy a nice pot. We don't need that. We're teaching survival, ain't that right? We took nothing and made something out, and it's going to work for you. You might even get a new job. Keep the one you got and get 2 or 3 more. This is an old sheep that the sister brought. She didn't have no use for it. She wanted to call it up and give it to the Goodwill. She brought it to me because I'm the Goodwill too. She said it's been in the family a long time. Now you see, the blessed thistle is still bubbling. The secret is not to get any of the herbs. Let's look at me doing it here. Oh, this is wonderful. Listen, all you need to do is make these kind of ointments, and you ain't got time to do nothing for nobody else. Talking about punch a clock. See how it is? All the substance in the herb and the roots are in the oil. Oh, this is heavy. Oh, this is wonderful. Look at it. Look how clear it is. But don't underestimate that clearness. Listen, when you put it up by your third eye, it'll knock you out. I want some of you to test it. You'll hear trumpets and everything. You don't wake me up. All right. Yeah, no. Listen, and I bet you won't nobody bother you neither, because it's been cooked. Wonderful. Now you look at it. Yes, you got. That's why I told you to bring a jar. I want you to see it. Look at it there. Look at it how it come up. Look at it. Yeah. See, look at it. Look at it. See it? Looks just like water. Natural color. Look at it. No odor about it. No odor, and it will not smell. It will not smell. Look at it. Look at it. See, it's as natural with the sheep. Now you just wait here. Yeah, you see the ointment that goes in here? The beeswax. Just watch. You're going to see something here. See, you don't have to go tomorrow. Look at it. See it? Made out of sunflower. Plant that faces the sun. See it? See? Run your hand under. It ain't going to hurt you. Yeah. Feel it. Feel the motions of it. Really, it's real hot. But it don't burn. Yeah, the bottle's on it there. Get you one when you get it. All right. Now, don't get in front of the camera. Yeah, it works. It's got oil in it. That's all right. See it there? See how you do it? The sheep cuts all the leaves. Rub your head on your forehead with it while it's warm. Now you see what it is. See it there? This is an ointment. There's a towel. Rub your forehead with it. See it there? Heavy, ain't it? Sit down a few minutes. Yeah, but it's not nuts, though. That's the smell of it. Now you see the beeswax in it? Yeah, rub your forehead with it. Now, rub your forehead with it. All right, now, it'll be ready to pour up here in a few minutes. Now, this is a protection ointment. We use 3 ounces of beeswax to it, which gives it the white color, and the beeswax preserves it so that it don't wrinkle. Now, this is enough ointment here to kill up everybody in Holland and get them downtown as well. Now, you notice it was hot and you touched it, and you didn't get burned. Let me tell you about this ointment. Some of you might not need this for protection. You might need it for staying alive. This ointment is heavy. This is what I've tried to show you here tonight. We're glad the brother come to tape it, and you will be able to get this tape. So we're going to wrap it up on this tape so that you can be able to see this at home and learn to take this. And then we're going to pour up this ointment, because we have a lot more in the pot, so let everybody have a jar. Everybody got a jar? Well, maybe it's such a small congregation tonight you'll get a bigger jar. Now, I don't come out on emergency. Don't rub this thing on your head if you don't know what you're doing. All right, we want to thank you, and we want to give the brother a hand for coming here to film this.